It's a world of apes, and actress Freya Allan is just living in it. Allan is breathing new life into the global franchise Planet of the Apes as one of the only human characters in the film. The fourth installment in the sci-fi action saga Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is set nearly 300 years in the future. Ape leader Proximus Caesar reigns over the kingdom with an iron grip, ruling humans as the primitive species, until one young ape teams up with Freya Allan's character, May, to challenge the dominance apes have held for centuries. Let's take a look.
Ape and human lived side by side. Impossible as that may seem.
Why do they hunt her?
She's smarter than most.
And Freya joins us now in studio. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So I would say bold, brave, some of the first words that come to mind when thinking of your character, May. What helps you embody that strength on screen?
I think, honestly, you kind of have to be brave and bold being an actor a lot of the time.
That's true.
So it kind of naturally feeds into that. I think I kind of have had to. You're always working on trying to be more bold and brave as an actor. So, yeah, I think that seeps into the character, I suppose.
And your co-stars had to go to ape school in order to prepare for their roles. Give us a sense of, I didn't even know such a thing existed.
Yeah, so basically they were learning the physicality of being apes, and they were all playing different apes, and they were also, it was also largely about, you know, how their different characters were going to make the way that they move personal to that character. And so, you know, they worked with the incredible movement coach, Elaine Gauthier, and, you know, transformed into them over about 6 weeks, I think.
And so explain, a large portion of the film is CGI. How does that work, and how do you prepare for that?
So basically, all of the actors playing the apes are wearing these suits which have, you know, these kind of balls all over them, and then they've got dots on their faces and a camera that comes in front of their face, so it captures all of their expressions and all of their movements. And there's also multiple cameras. You've got the main filming cameras, and then you have other cameras around that are also capturing all their movement. And so you do the scene. For me, as the only human in the film, I was doing my scene with them, and then they would be taken out, and we'd have to shoot the scene of me just looking at nothing, because obviously they're not the exact shape of an ape, so they have to have the background so that they can put them in. So technically, most of the film is actually just me on my own.
And how do you do that? Because I feel like so much of our interaction with humans is body language, is feeding off of someone else's energy. So if you're alone, but you've got to be reactive, it feels like that's hard.
It's very difficult. You can't look into someone's eyes, so you are just kind of having to remember the feeling you had when you were doing it with them. So it was tricky. But most of the closer shots where you really get in with you know, May, I was then able to look at them because obviously, you know, they're not in the shot. So that was a relief, at least. What
was it like for you joining such a renowned franchise and beloved one as well?
I mean, I felt honoured. When I got the audition through, my mum was saying, you know, how she had watched the 1968 version when she was younger and how much of an impact that had on her. And so, yeah, it felt like it's incredible, obviously. But I think our filming was so personal and intimate. All of the cast were such grounded, normal people, and we all became so close that we kind of now associate with just that. And now that we're doing press, we're being reminded of how big it is. But in my mind, that it was just that little group of people filming out in Australia and doing what we love, you know?
From those initial hardcore fans who watched the film, you know, decades ago, what would you tell them? You gotta tune in for this one. You're really gonna enjoy watching this.
Well, I think what's amazing is that it's been in the hands of Wes Ball, the director, who is so smart, and the things I'm still learning about this movie in terms of the subtle references to that 1968 version. You know, this movie, it's not at that same time period. We're still quite a bit before that time in the film, but there are so many Easter eggs that are a callback to that 1968 version. But at the same time, it's this entirely fresh story with new characters and really some, you know, two very young characters at the centre of it, which I think is something we haven't really seen in this franchise yet, and I think really shifts the feeling of the film. I think that there's definitely a running thread throughout the film between my character and Noah of looking beyond everything you've ever been taught of one another's species and being challenged on that and actually having your mind broadened. And it's kind of, you know, going back to that idea of you have to speak to people and look in their eyes and actually see what they're really like.
Freya, our thanks to you. Really appreciate you coming on. Want to let our viewers know Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes opens exclusively in theaters May 10th.